The global chessboard is shaking as London just unleashed its most devastating economic lightning strike against Moscow to date. With nearly 300 new sanctions targeting the heart of Russia's energy lifeline and shadow fleets, the stakes have never been higher. But as the West tightens the noose, the Kremlin's response has sent chills across the globe, signaling a terrifying shift toward a strategic nuclear scenario. Is Ukraine truly on the verge of a dirty escalation, or is this the final warning before a point of no return? We're breaking down the frontline collapses and Zelensky's shock election ultimatum. Subscribe now for the fastest updates on this breaking crisis. The UK just dropped a financial hammer on Moscow's doorstep, and the shockwaves are paralyzing Russia's most vital economic lifelines. On May 24th, London officially triggered its most massive sanction blitz since the start of the conflict, marking an unprecedented escalation in the economic theater. By unleashing nearly 300 new restrictive measures in a single wave, the United Kingdom has pushed the total number of targeted Russian entities and individuals to a record-breaking 3,000 targets. This isn't just a symbolic gesture. It is a systematic financial siege designed to dismantle the Kremlin's ability to sustain its long-term operations. The bullseye of this strike is Transneft, the state-owned titan that operates Russia's vast oil pipeline network. The data reveals the gravity of this move. Transneft controls and transports over 80% of Moscow's total crude oil exports. By freezing the assets of this strategic giant, the UK is effectively tightening a noose around Russia's primary source of foreign currency. But the pressure doesn't stop there. London has officially declared war on the shadow fleet by blacklisting 175 companies linked to the Two Rivers oil network. This sophisticated underground operation is what the West alleges Moscow has been using to bypass global embargoes for years. The message from the UK is crystal clear. They are hunting down every loophole, from military equipment suppliers and civil nuclear programs to media outlets like Imedy TV and Post TV, accused of spreading strategic disinformation. Despite reports of Russia pivoting its exports toward major markets in Asia, this British shock and awe campaign has pushed Moscow's operational costs and risks into the red zone. This is a war of financial attrition, and London is proving it is willing to go further than ever to isolate the Russian economy from the global map. The geopolitical stakes just hit a terrifying fever pitch as the specter of nuclear escalation returns to the global stage with a vengeance. While economic sanctions grind away at the headlines, a much darker narrative is emerging from the shadows of intelligence reports. The Russian Foreign Intelligence Service, SVR, has just dropped a bombshell claim, alleging that London and Paris are secretly maneuvering to equip Ukraine with the unthinkable, a dirty bomb, or even direct nuclear capabilities to tilt the scales of future negotiations. While France has slammed these allegations as a blatant lie, the reaction from the Kremlin has been anything but quiet. Dmitry Medvedev, deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council, has issued a chilling warning that changes the calculus of the entire conflict. Medvedev stated that any transfer of nuclear assets to a nation currently in active combat would be viewed as a direct entry into nuclear warfare. The ultimatum is clear. Russia claims the right to deploy its strategic nuclear arsenal not only against targets within Ukraine, but against the very nations supplying such hardware. This isn't just rhetoric. It's a direct reference to Russia's updated nuclear doctrine, signed by Vladimir Putin in late 2024. The doctrine explicitly broadens the list of scenarios where atomic weapons, the ultimate measure of sovereignty protection, can be utilized. Despite Ukraine's firm stance that it has no interest in nuclear weapons, having famously surrendered the world's third-largest stockpile under the 1994 Budapest Memorandum, the tension is at a historic high. We are looking at a hair-trigger environment where non-strategic or tactical nuclear warheads are no longer just a theoretical deterrent, but a central piece of the escalatory dialogue. The world is watching, breathless, as the red lines are being redrawn in real time. In a stunning political gambit, President Volodymyr Zelensky has just laid out a high-stakes ultimatum that could redefine Ukraine's leadership and its path to peace. As the fires of war continue to burn, the question of democratic legitimacy is taking center stage. Zelensky has officially signaled his readiness to run for a second term, but only under one non-negotiable condition. He is calling for an immediate, guaranteed 2-month ceasefire to ensure the safety of voters and the integrity of the ballot box. This isn't just a quest for power, it's a strategic challenge to both his domestic critics and international partners. The reality on the ground, however, is a grim shadow over these political ambitions. In a moment of startling candor, Zelensky admitted that 80% of Ukrainian territory remains defenseless against sophisticated ballistic missile strikes. Despite the presence of legendary Patriot systems, the coverage is tragically sparse. This vulnerability has forced Kyiv into a desperate race against time, negotiating directly with Germany, Norway, Canada, and the Nordic nations to secure more iron domes for their skies. The numbers are staggering. A single air defense battery can cost between $1.5 billion and $2 billion, with each interceptor missile carrying a price tag of $2 million to $3 million. Ukraine is no longer just asking for charity. They are securing specific funding to purchase these shields. Meanwhile, the political clock is ticking. Reports suggest that discussions between Kyiv and Washington are already eyeing a potential peace roadmap as early as March 2026, with a national referendum and presidential elections potentially slated for May. The stakes are clear. Can Ukraine secure its skies long enough to secure its future, or will the lack of air cover silence the democratic process? As the conflict enters its fourth grueling year, the map of Ukraine is undergoing a dramatic and deadly transformation that defies all previous expectations. The year 2026 has solidified a brutal shift in strategy. While Kyiv is forced into a posture of strategic defense, Moscow has seized the initiative, launching a relentless war of attrition across the entire front. This is no longer a battle for swift territorial gains, but a systematic campaign to exhaust Ukraine's manpower, energy infrastructure, and supply lines. The most shocking reversal has occurred in the Kursk region. What began as a bold Ukrainian incursion in 2024 has seen its momentum evaporate. By late 2025, Ukrainian control had withered to just 400 square kilometers, a staggering 60% loss from their initial peak. Russian forces utilized tactical ingenuity, reportedly infiltrating the town of Sudzha through gas pipelines to bypass defenses and disrupt logistics. By mid-2025, the area was fully reclaimed, and Russia pushed even further, establishing a 30-kilometer-wide security buffer deep into Ukraine's Sumy region to prevent future raids. To the east, the Donbass fortress is facing its greatest trial. Russian units have created a chain reaction of collapses. After seizing the Serebryansky forest, Moscow's forces effectively encircled Lyman and Siversk by December 2025. The focus has now shifted to the strategic prizes of Sloviansk and Kramatorsk, the last major urban strongholds in the Donbass under Ukrainian control. Meanwhile, in the south, the fall of Vuhledar has torn a hole in the defensive line, allowing Russian troops to push into the Dnipropetrovsk region for the first time. With a massive 30 to 40 kilometer wide offensive front, Ukraine's small-scale counterattacks are struggling to hold back the tide. The fourth year of this war is revealing a grim reality. The side that can maintain this agonizing rhythm of pressure may eventually see the partial collapse of the other. As the conflict enters this volatile fourth year, the world finds itself at a historic crossroads. From London's economic death blow to the terrifying specter of nuclear escalation and the high-stakes gamble of wartime elections, the status quo has been shattered. The coming months will not only decide the fate of Ukraine, but could reshape the global order for decades to come. What do you think? Can Ukraine's new defensive line hold, or is the geopolitical clock ticking toward an inevitable breakthrough? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this analysis insightful, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for the latest breaking updates. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.